What's going on, everybody? We just saw Mickey 17 in IMAX, if you can see that up there. If you're gonna watch Mickey 17, IMAX is a fantastic way to watch it. It looks beautiful. It's shot in what looks like a taller format, it feels like. It really popped off the screen. It sucked me right in. It's a wild movie. I'm joined by Courtney Wright, by the way.
Hello.
So, I didn't see a single trailer to this, at least not that I can recall. You said you saw a trailer.
I did.
So, I did not know what to expect going into this film. All I knew is Robert Pattinson is in this, Bong Joon Ho directed it, and I was like, well, that's an interesting combination. The poster looks quirky. Let's see what happens. And quirky it definitely was. Out of respect for you guys, I'm gonna keep this as non-spoiler as possible. I'm gonna maybe touch on some of the themes with Courtney, how I felt about the acting, the effects, all that stuff, like the broad strokes of everything, and just the general feeling, but I'm not gonna dive into the story much more than just the premise. So let me see if I can set this up correctly. I just watched Koay do his non-spoiler review, and he spoke for 9 minutes straight without taking a breath, and I'm like, oh my lord, what a man. Let's see what I can do here. Mickey 17 takes place in the future, I think approximately 2050 AD. It's dealing with a crew of humans who are on a ship going through space, trying to find a planet. Your main character is this guy who keeps getting replicated. He keeps getting subjected to different human experiments to see how humans endure certain situations, how they can come up with solutions to different circumstances, to different pathogens or viruses that show up. So he is the reason why humans are able to survive, because they keep creating solutions based off of him. He comes across something that he can't unsee, and then complexities arise from there. How was that?
I mean, that was pretty good. That's pretty good. You know, this movie, it definitely gives a very different take on like the concept of cloning, or the idea of several different versions of the same person. So when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, I think I know what I'm getting, and it is exactly what I expected. But I will say there was so much heart in this movie that I really found the lead character, Robert Pattinson, I found him endearing, and I was really rooting for this character. And what you were saying about like, your non-spoiler version, the only thing that I would add to that is it's really about this character's journey to understand himself and what exactly to be alive means.
The first thing I noticed when the film started was Robert Pattinson's voice. I didn't know the voice he was going to choose when he signed up to do this character, and it just jumped out at me. And honestly, initially, I thought that someone else was doing his voice for him. I was a little bit confused, because that sounds nothing like any of the Robert Pattinsons I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, it was a little frustrating. At first, when I heard it, it was a little jarring.
Oh, I fell in love with it right away. I just didn't know it was actually him.
I didn't.
So I was like, whoa, his vocal ability is insane to me, because I've heard the broad range of Robert Pattinson voices at this point, from Twilight to Batman to this. I'm like, god dang, that's crazy that he has that ability. I can't say anything else besides that, otherwise I'm gonna spoil something. I just really adored his character and how quirky he was. He was like the underdog in all the circumstances in the movie, and I think that's what makes him so accessible as a person, and he plays it so well. For being this dude that I know is not that guy in real life, I bought him as this guy who's just like, hung dog look on his face the whole, like.
Right, but that's the ability of an amazing actor to lose themselves in a role. And it's so hard to do it when you have so many different versions of a character. You know, I always think of like my favorite actor to do it thus far is Tatiana Maslany in Orphan Black, who plays several different clones. I thought that Robert Pattinson, what he did in this was it was wonderful, because to your point, like the voice did grow on me, because I accepted this is Mickey, like I accepted this is who he is, how he talks, how he moves. And then to see different versions of that character have different mannerisms was amazing. Like on a masterpiece level, like a mastery level as an actor, he is amazing.
So I've seen 3 Bong Joon Ho films at this point. I've seen The Host. I saw that way before Bong Joon Ho was cool in America. And then I saw Parasite, and now this. For me, I would rank it, and this is going to be controversial after this film comes out, I would rank it The Host which is already controversial to put on top, and then Mickey 17, and then Parasite for me.
In that order?
In that order of like, if I was to revisit these films, I've watched The Host like 3 times. I love that film. And so I really admire Bong Joon Ho and his style. And so there are comedic elements to the film. I think that's clear right off the trailer. If you've seen the trailer, I feel like that's not something they would hide. It's clear in the poster as well. I mean, just like his expression in the poster.
Moderately clear in the trailer. Like,
oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. Like, you know that there's something that is a little bit off, a little different, and you're not sure if you're supposed to laugh at it, but I will say that there are moments they find comedy, and it's fantastic.
That way you just described that is exactly what the experience is like when you watch The Host, because there is stuff that happens where you're like, am I supposed to find this funny? And it actually is deliberate. You are supposed to find it funny, and there's a lot of moments in this film that's like that is unequivocally dark humor. And so if you don't like dark humor, you're not going to enjoy this movie. And so
yeah, it's definitely different, as you said, in a quirky, roundabout way, but it's absolutely endearing, and I know that you're really going to enjoy it.
I am wildly excited to see what audiences feel about this film, because I know without a shadow of a doubt it's going to be divisive. The film comes out strong about halfway through the film of putting its cards on the table and saying, this is what we're here to say. It has no shame in putting out there what it's trying to say. Courtney even turned to me at one point and goes, is this about this, about this? And I'm like, that's exactly what this is about, Courtney. And it's not shying away from it whatsoever. It's in your face with the message, and it's not just one message. There's like multiple messages in this film that it's talking about.
Are.
Yeah, and I don't know how much of this is inherently Bong Joon Ho and his personal philosophy,
or actor choices,
or the book, because it's based on a book.
Yes.
And so this definitely makes me want to read the book, just because the film is so wild, and it goes to places I don't expect. It's definitely going to be the most talked about movie once it comes out, just because it's so different. I promise you, if you watch this film, it'll be the most weird, different movie you have seen this year. Guaranteed. Even given the rest of 2025, it's going to be the weirdest thing you see this year. I promise you.
In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way, but also maybe in not so good ways.
But no. The reason I said that is because I really enjoyed this. Like, once you buy into this is the world that's been created, then you understand the quirk and the weirdness, and you're just there. Like, the acting performances overall, like as a cast, like ensemble, fantastic.
I would say that the film veers on the longer side. It feels longer at a certain point, and it's just because I didn't necessarily know where it was going. It doesn't follow, you'd be able to speak to this better than I do. Obviously, this is non-spoiler, so we won't be too specific, but it doesn't really follow the natural hero's journey trajectory. There's definitely that beat of the hero can't turn back. I want to become a Jedi, Master Obi-Wan. So, you have that moment where the hero, what is that called?
The hero's journey.
The hero's journey, but he hits a point at page 27 or whatever where it's like, okay, this is no longer an option. This is the only option, right?
Right.
Where Luke decides to become a Jedi.
Like the rising action or the climax?
I guess it's the rising action. I don't know these terms as well as Courtney does. But in terms of structure, it's like there is that beat in the film where it's like, oh, this is the direction he has to go, and there's no turning back now. And then the film gets really effing weird, and it's like, where are we going? I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Let me just get through this one thought. It's like I just was like, I have no idea where this is headed, but I'm definitely strapped in, and I'm on for this ride. Anyway, go ahead.
No, what I was gonna say is I definitely think that the hero's journey is what our hero character, like Mickey, is following, because he has to fight against himself in order to, and I don't mean that literally, I mean fight against his own internal nature in order to make a decision of what I want to do. So it's definitely like that internal battle, of can I do this? Should I do this? What do I do? That he definitely goes through. So it's absolutely that traditional hero's journey.
The Joseph Campbell thing.
Yeah.
So I said earlier, this is a sci-fi film, and you're dealing with a bunch of people in space and stuff. The visual effects in this is remarkable. Talk about watching something in IMAX. The thing about IMAX and the screen is it's not going to lie, right? You're seeing everything. So if there's flaws, you're going to see the flaws. There's no hiding it. And the visual effects is so stunning. I was just like jaw-dropping. You'll be asking yourself how the hell they pulled this off. How does it look this good, this convincing, this realistic, wall to wall? There isn't a single instance in this film where I was like, that looked fake. The entire time I was on board for it.
The one thing I was going to say about the IMAX in terms of the world, like when you're traveling through space and they finally land on the planet that they're getting to, Seeing that on IMAX is absolutely stunning because it's the littlest minute detail that you can see on the character's face, from the costume to everything. And especially when they're on the ship, because it can be like, for me, when you only have like a minimal amount of space to like showcase, i.e. the ship that they're traveling or their quarters or what have you, but they find a way, like Bong Joon-ho. Yeah, okay.
Bong Joon Ho.
I just want to make sure I said that right.
We're a little dyslexic on his name. So sorry. I've probably been saying Bong Ho Joon the whole time. Now you got me messed up. Bong Joon Ho.
That's what I think I said that. I hope I said that. Anyways, what he did well was to really showcase that we could feel the grandiose nature of it, even though it was this small, compact place. Like, I could see all of the whether or not they're in like a group setting or individual, like really close contact. Like, everything was fantastic. I could see in the IMAX.
We see Mark Ruffalo there. I suppose it's okay. We see Steve Yeun there. I suppose it's okay to talk about some of the faces we see on the poster. I want to be very careful how we talk about them. All I'll say is...
Naomi Ackie, she did a wonderful job.
Naomi Ackie, is that how you say her name?
Naomi Ackie.
Naomi Ackie did a fantastic job. Very convincing in her role. Steve Yeun, always good. Toni Collette did a wonderful job. Mark Ruffalo, I wonder how everyone's going to feel. I want to hear what you feel before I say what I feel. Go ahead.
I feel he definitely made a very strong character choice.
Okay.
At times, it did feel like he was putting it on very strong, and at times when I turned to you and I was like, is that what I think it is? It kind of turned me off at times, but once I leaned in...
Maybe it's supposed to.
No, not in a negative way, like turn me off, like, I don't like this. Like, turn me off, because it was such a grandiose choice. But then I realized this is who this character is, and this is the reason that we have our feelings about him. Not just the mannerisms or the actions or even the things that he says. It's really about what his overall arching goal and plan for, his actions in the movie, which, like, you need to be this, like, ridiculous character.
Yeah. There is something that happened in real life that we all saw in the news, and you see it happen in this movie. And it's so weird to see it in the movie, and it's like, your brain goes, wait, is it referencing... It is referencing that. That's crazy that it's referencing that real life thing. And so it's unabashedly, shamelessly going, this is what this is about, yo. Yep. And so Mark Ruffalo's choices as this character, I like Mark Ruffalo. I've liked him for a long time, and I think he definitely makes bold choices in this film. I don't know that those choices necessarily gel with my... I don't know. I don't know if I like it. That's the short of it. I'm trying to find a nice way to say it. I don't know if I like what he did.
For me, it's like, I don't know that we needed it per se.
Yeah.
Like, I understand why he did it and I accepted it. And like I said, it worked ultimately for the choices that he made. But if he had made a different choice, would I have liked that better? I think yes, but I understand why he made the choice that he did.
Yeah, I get it. It's not lost on me. It's hard. Yeah,
we get it.
It makes sense based on once you understand what's happening. It makes sense why he's doing that. It just feels so caricature to me that it doesn't feel real, like the way Robert Pattinson feels real, like the way Naomi Ackie feels real, or Stephen Yeun, or Toni Collette. Well, yeah, Toni Collette was actually perfectly writing that line of like caricature and real throughout the entire film. And for me, this is the second time I've watched Mark Ruffalo do a character that was so over the top, I wasn't sure how to feel about it. The last one was Pretty Little Things, whatever that film was called.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot what it's called, where what's-her-name won Best Actress.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how I felt about him there. Emma Stone, yeah. And so here, again, I'm like, that's a choice. I don't know, it's fun. You know, the whole vibe is very big when it comes to him, and I think that is the point. There wasn't ever an instance, except for maybe one scene where I'm like, oh, there's an actor who knows what he's doing. You know, there was one scene like that. But I think that most people watching it will enjoy what he does.
He's definitely entertaining.
Yeah, he's definitely entertaining.
You can't take that away from him.
Whether or not you love this film, it will definitely be something you talk about. It'll definitely be something that stays with you. This is very unique. It is definitely one of the most unique films I've ever seen, and I hope that y'all watch it, and watch it in
IMAX.
Thanks so much for hanging out, you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this non-spoiler review, and looking forward to hear what you guys think of it. I'm Jaby Koay. This is
Courtney Scott Wright.
Peace out.